Hey everybody, it's me. It's been 1 year since this video has come out, November 13th. I'm not actually recording this on the 13th, but that's when it should be being posted. Uh, I just wanted to record kind of a director's commentary on this, because it's kind of a game that a video that's important to me. It's still my favorite video that I've had on the channel, and yeah, it has like what 800 views or some shit. It's not my most popular video. No, it's not like that important, but like to me, it's important, and I have some. I think it would be interesting to go into like the detail, like what happened in like behind the scenes of production. I just got like a lot of shit here. And, I think it would be fun because like, you don't really see the the behind the scenes of making a YouTube video. It's kind of like just a do it on your own thing. That's kind of just how I learned about it, just doing shit on my own. So I don't know. I think it would be kind of fun to see how the 4 month production of this hour-long video went by. It could be interesting. It's gonna be very long, so that's fun. But you know, let's just I'm very proud of this video. Like I know it's not. It seems kind of weird to be like, oh yeah, this is my most prized thing that I've done in my life, but I don't know. I just really like it. Like it was a lot of work, and no matter how stupid it is still very well put together. I'm very proud that I made it. Even I don't think I got paid a cent from this, but yeah, you got 800 views. That's still like really good. Like for me, like that's 800 people that you entertained. Like you can't get around that. Like that's just like damn. And also, I just get to say that I did this. I did it. Yeah, me. Like fucking that's crazy. Like just being able to say like I did something is just so incredible, and have it be like something good, like something that you're proud of. That is huge. Like not a lot of people get to say that. So yeah, let's get into it. Also the audio is probably going to sound a little bit worse because I'm recording this in my bed, just off the cuff. I'm holding the mic. It's not like stationed on anything, so um yeah. And also I'm at my uh parents' house, and they might be really loud or not depending on how they feel. So
A while since I talked about a specific game in detail. It's been a while since I talked about a specific game
it's
in
weird how it
detail, and the
shows
last
Dead
time I did it
Cells to
sucked
be the
ass. Throwing
beginning
a
part,
copy of Yoshi's New Island at
Okay, we're good. Yeah, okay.
me and asking me to talk about it for 8 minutes isn't gonna go anywhere. It takes a certain game to get me really wanting to talk about it. I've had ideas for games that I've wanted to make videos on.
I want to do a video on Hotline Miami 2. I just don't think I'm qualified to, I just don't think I could. Uh, like that game's just weird as hell, man. Like it's such a good game, but at the same time it's like awful, but like it's really deep and then not at all at the same time. Like it's fucking you won't know until you play fucking Hotline Miami 2 how weird as hell that game is. Jacob Geller made a good video on it. I would yeah, check him out.
And maybe I will in the future if I feel it. But the game that really got my attention was The Wonderful 101. This game has a
Yeah.
pretty interesting history. The game studio, Platinum Games, made up of former Capcom employees.
I feel like I wasn't as enthusiastic in this opening section, like these opening minutes. I think I was kind of tired when I was recording the lines, but I think it went fine for most viewers. Well,
Made some good games at this point, like Bayonetta and Mad World on Wii. definitely proving they can make some good stuff. Then one day, they decided to partner up with Nintendo. Oh, hey, Platinum,
Ooh, this
what's
is a
up?
scene that has
Nothing much. How
lore.
about you? Oh, you know, I saw that Mad World game you guys made on the Wii. It was great. The colorblind community loved it. Oh, yeah, thanks,
I
man.
love
That
that
really means a
joke.
lot coming from someone like you. We were thinking about if you guys made a new game for our new console we got cooking up. Oh, really? What's it called? It's called the Wii U. It's gonna be flying off the shelves in droves, man. We're expecting 20 million units in the first month. That's really interesting, man. Maybe in the future we can work together, but I'm not so sure about exclusive. It's gonna have Wii Fit U. Now it's a deal, good sir. The game
Alright, so, that scene right there,
exclusive. It's
right
gonna have Wii
so
Fit
oh,
U.
fuck.
Now
So right after that, it's gonna have We Fit You, I was planning for there to be a pause, and then he would say, "Now it's a deal, good sir." But then, my buddy Logan, also Logan, like, saved this entire video. He saves, like, he's like my right-hand man, I guess, because he's fucking helping me out so much. Not even, not with, like, editing and stuff, but just, like, with making sure my computer functions. Um, he edited this scene to get rid of the pause and just have it be now it's a deal, good sir, and it was an improvement. And so that's in the final. And so if you ever wanted to know what I meant at the end of the credits by Logan did a very little bit of editing, that right there, even though I didn't actually use his edit, I just recreated it. But you know, we don't need to go into those specificities.
it's a deal, good sir.
Also, all of these images, yeah, I made them in Google Slides. Like, it works. Yeah. I don't want to, like, edit this because, I feel like it last edited on November 17th, 2020. That's just, like, uh, yeah, we got all of these. I found it easy to just do it in Google Slides and make one image instead of trying to build it in the editing software. I don't know if that's, like, actually how people do it or not. We'll get to that. I think, do I have a... I don't remember anything in the script, so I don't, yeah, oh, now it's a deal, good sir. Like, yeah, it was kind of implied that it would be a pause in my brain. I didn't write it, though.
The game went through a bunch of different concepts until eventually it settled on a superhero beat-em-up style game based around moving a large group of characters. Showcases were pretty limited, there were trailers, but overall it just felt like a game in the background. A lot of hands-on demos at E3 and conventions didn't go really well for journalists. This was still 2013, so I guess journalists might have had the impression that they should use the gamepad to draw the shapes because it's the Wii U's gimmick. We'll get to this later, but for now just know that you really shouldn't draw with the gamepad. I know we laugh at games journalists for not being the brightest people in the world, but this still kind of spread around the idea that the game was clunky to control. Game got a direct in August 2013 and
I was shocked when I found out this game got a direct. Like, I did not know that. Like, that was crazy information for me to uncover right there.
wow, no one cared. Nintendo Directs get like millions of viewers, and this one doesn't even have 100K. That is just sad. It had no marketing at all, it just kind of existed in the void. It was never expected to be some huge system seller game with 10 million copies sold, but even then, the game still bombed hard. It launched in August in Europe and Japan, and September in North America. You know what else came out in August and September of 2013? Pikmin 3,
Yeah.
Wind Waker
Yeah.
HD, Rayman Legends. Even for just Wii U stuff, it was gonna have
That,
Wind Waker
I wonder how many people
HD,
caught
Rayman
this.
Legends.
Ooh, yeah, coming exclusively on Wii U 2020, 2011, 2012. I wonder how many people saw that. You know, like, this is already a very small sample size, so this show could have just gone, like, nowhere. Maybe, like, 2 people.
Even for just Wii U stuff, it was gonna have a rough time. It was going up against some of the most highly anticipated and greatest games for the system.
know.
But just to make sure no one buys this game, Grand Theft Auto 5, one of the highest selling video games.
Oh, fuck. Shit.
So
Damn it.
13 currents. First we can find, but Theft Auto just 5, one of the
Okay,
highest
yeah, they're never making Grand Theft Auto 6, that's what I wanted to say. I didn't want to fast forward.
selling video games of all time. The odds were so stacked against this game, it was pretty much doomed to fail from the start. Sales numbers are
Also, I'm pausing. I know it's not technically a true director's commentary, but this video is very densely packed. Sorry.
Hard to find, but it generally seems like it sold less than 100,000 copies. In its first week in Japan, it sold less than 5K. Game didn't just bomb, it got sent to the clearance bins. Platinum themselves joked about how hard the game tanked by saying it only sold 13 copies. Even the copy I got was like $15 off or something.
This footage is grainy for like no reason.
Not
I
sure,
have
it was
no idea
2013,
why.
I don't have the receipts. I got it a couple months after it came out on Wii
Like,
U,
I
and
just
I
shot
beat
it with my
and I liked it.
phone.
The only problem is that it's on the Wii U. I know the Wii U has its charm and all, but going back to it is just a mess. The menus take too long to load, the gamepad is an active dust magnet, it's super prone to hardware failures, it does some cool stuff, but I'd rather use the Switch, or the 3DS, or the PS4, or the fucking Game Boy Advance SP. So when the
True.
Switch came out and tons of games started getting ported to it, people were wondering about the wonderful 101. Platinum kept teasing it for a while, saying they were looking into it. It sounded like they were really trying to get this game ported, but Nintendo or something else was keeping them down. The
This
rights
is
for
where
this
the
game are
real
kinda
video
messy, and I'm not a
starts.
lawyer, so I'm not gonna act like I know what I'm talking about, but it seems like Nintendo at least owns part of the Wonderful 101. Eventually, they gave in and let Platinum publish the game on other systems. In February 2020, they announced a Kickstarter asking for $50,000, and people crushed that goal within a day. They raised over $2 million. With the money, they were able to put the game on PS4 and Steam. Now, could the Kickstarter be seen as shady? Maybe.
This image. Yep. That's all I gotta say about that.
But at least the game was gonna come out and have the opportunity to finally become the hit game it deserved to be.
That line delivery has always fucking bothered me. It sounds like kid game instead of hit game, and that's just like nagging at the back of my brain. Like, ugh. Oh, like, fucking. The audio in particular for like this, like I was so like terrified because I think this was the first video I recorded with this microphone. I might be wrong about that, but I think that's right. And or maybe it was the first video recorded with OBS, I'm not sure. But I was just terrified of this like audio sounding like shit because it's like an hour and you gotta have good audio for an hour. Obviously now, I'm using way worse audio and this video is gonna be way longer than an hour. But you know, that's just how it be.
And then the great plague of the 21st century happened and the world went to
And
shit,
we're
so yeah, the
still
game kinda
dealing with
bombed
it.
again. But at least they were able to get the game on more platforms with consistent player bases. In July, I picked the game up on PS4 because I think it's neat to have a Nintendo-published Asterisk game on a non-Nintendo console. You don't really see that often. Also, this game I feel is a prime target to get taken off of online stores at one point, so I'm glad there's physical copies. You know, the official name is Remastered, but does that really count here? I mean, they changed some stuff, but I don't know if it's enough to call it a remaster. I don't know. The line between port.
Oh, also, I'm just gonna point this out right now. PS4 shit is like right in that sweet spot where it's like dirt cheap, pretty much. Like, you can get pretty much any fucking PS4 game for like 20 bucks now. It is fantastic.
Remaster, remake, whatever, so bored now, who cares? Let's just play the game already. Also, I should probably say I'm on the PS4 version. I don't think there's that many differences besides like performance and stuff. The game opens with a disclaimer telling you to play in a lit room, but it scrolls by so fast that you never be able to read it all. That's kind of weird. You think they put it when you turn on the game
That
by so
image.
fast that you never be able to read it all. That's kind of
This image right here, this fish smoking a cigarette inside of a chicken, that was actually the thumbnail of my one of my early days videos where I talked about commercials. I don't think it's still up, but it was because it was really boring. But that I used that fish as my thumbnail, even though I don't think that fish was in the video at all.
weird. You think they put it when you turn on the game, like auto-saving warnings or something, but no. Incomprehensible. It's got me curious, so I looked up the Wii U version. Apparently that's where the Nintendo logo was in the original.
These kinds of shots were a bitch to figure out because I was new to OBS. It took me so long to like find a way to do this and also you have to like refresh the page like a lot. I'm not sure if I don't think I can show it on my end, but because of how I messed up this, but pretty much what you had to do was like go to a YouTube video or uh
A fan fiction.
like if you like hold on. I don't know if this is gonna
A fan fiction about Mr. Beast. A fan fiction.
okay, well it's not showing up now, but I think because actually wait, yeah, right, because I'm have like uBlock and stuff in here, but basically there would be like these pop-ups of like try YouTube TV, try this, do you want to try out YouTube TV or try YouTube Premium or some shit? And it was like really annoying because I had to like refresh like a ton of times, and I had to make sure that I didn't there was no ads or whatever. It was just a real pain, but you know, you do it. And that's why the sign in is like this, because you use like the OBS browser page thing, which is like a really weird option for them to have, but I'm glad it's there.
So that's actually pretty smart. The credits are all done through city billboards and signs, and I like it. It gives it the tone of a PG-13 action movie. We get a flashback of the main character's dad getting murdered in front of them as a child. Wow. Intrigue. Suddenly, the city starts getting lasered, and we take control of our main character, Will Wedgwood. I like this first section because it immediately gets you familiar with the idea of gathering a large group of people, as well as the fact that medals exist. There's a lot of cheesy action movie stuff, and then we get introduced to our first enemies. However, you don't get to fight them yet because you're still in your normal man form. And we die.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone actually caught this. I don't think a single person in the world caught this joke, but you have subscribe for more cop-outs, and then at the end, you have subscribe for more non-cop-outs. I am the only person in the world that knows about this joke. Not a single other person noticed.
You don't get a Here we get introduced to Wonder position.
Utilizing the psychic switches on their wonder pennants, forming mere mortals around the world, have donned a powerful exit wonderful 100 by merging their wonder energy. So Unite Morph, the secret weapon of the wonderful.
I just realized, but these kinds of things, these were a bitch to edit with these cutscenes. I think this one was more, this one at the end was a real bitch to edit. I think I spent like a solid 4 hours just editing one of these like montages where you just, it's just cutscenes. This one was fine, but like the one down here, I don't know where it is exactly, but that was a bitch to do.
100. Unite Build allows Wonderful Ones to instantly analyze a structure for gaps or deficiency. The Wonder Liner extends the Wonderful One's wonder energy to ordinary citizens.
Yeah, during this opening, there's gonna be a lot of that. Now we get to fight, and we punch. I would be surprised if we
This song right here.
didn't. Next up on the introduction list is
There
Wonder
it
Blue, the
is.
sword user. And we get shown QuickTime events, and there are going to be a lot of these,
Higher Way
so
Bleed
get used
2.
to them. Finally,
Bleed 2. Hold up. Song right here. Higher Way, Bleed 2. This game's fucking good. This game's like $4. It's really good. It's way really good. That was completely unneeded, but okay.
we get to the main combat mechanic of drawing shapes to summon weapons, or Unite Morphs. You get two off the bat, Fist of Circle, Sword of Line. Fist is great for taking out one specific target, and Sword is great for dealing smaller damage to a lot of enemies. You'll use these two a lot throughout the game. There's also a lot of smaller things the game throws at you in this tutorial, energy meter that stops you from spamming Unite Morphs, currency you get from beating enemies, recruiting citizens you find throughout the levels to join your team, building chains and bridges to go over gaps and unite builds. A bunch of kids show up and shower the wonderful 100 with praise, and I don't think they knew a bus was about to crush half of them. Actually,
This
wait
joke
a
is
minute.
really
Where was this bus
unfunny,
going if the only road this
but
led to was
I've learned to
unfinished?
cope with
Maybe the bus driver was the bad guy all along. School should probably launch an investigation.
Why would you want those liars' autographs?
Well, okay, this is Luca. Luca Allen Smithy.
I never learned
Alan
why his name is
Smithy
Alan
is the name
Smithy.
that directors use when they want to.
Never learned this. No one ever came out with a reason for this. I just don't think there is a reason, other than like maybe it's just like another movie reference because it's like a movie.
Not have their name attached to a movie. It is never brought up, but the wiki acknowledges that the joke exists but never explains the joke. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just dumb.
Young
But yeah, this kid is
I
coming back
forgot
again if
about
you
that.
couldn't tell. Also, oh no, the villains are in a dark room except there's clearly light on them. Once we get to the menu, we get to access the shop and the game immediately tells you to buy Unite Guts and Unite Spring. Your basic garden block, and for only 10 O parts, what a steal! Except it wasn't always like this. In the Wii U version, these were much more expensive and could potentially make it so you couldn't afford both of them after the prologue. Now that they're so cheap, they're practically begging you to buy them, which you should because these are practically required in some areas. It's crazy how the game doesn't just give you these from the start, but I guess at that point they would need to find a way to fit it into the tutorial, and I guess that could mess up some stuff, so just throw them in the shop. Also, now that you have more money, it incentivizes new players to buy more healing items.
Bars.
Man, I love this game's soundtrack. It's so good. According to this YouTube playlist, because I'm not counting all these myself, there's 127 tracks for this game, and man, do they really add to the action. A lot of tracks are only used for like 1 or 2 cutscenes. It really adds to the whole movie vibe. This game had 6 composers ranging from Metal Gear Solid, Yakuza, Okami, Fire Emblem, Mario Party 10, Star Fox Zero, a ton of other shit.
Don't you just love making a bunch of these graphics that are on screen for like a second? That is so much fun, unironically.
And one of them has the same name as an anime character, so that made him slightly confusing to look up.
That was so weird.
Ton of other shit, and one of them has this.
I was so confused when I saw this. It was so weird.
Same name as an anime character, so that made him slightly confusing to look up. Let's head on into the first main level. We get told more plot about how aliens are invading, and we get introduced to Commander Nelson and Alice. Also, all the characters in this game have the same emotional complexity as Power Rangers writing. Do I actually want to talk about the story, like in depth? Well, I probably won't.
It's weird when you're trying to like balance out what scenes you want to be like very scripted and professional, and then you want to have those like scenes where like you're more nonchalant. It's a very tricky thing to balance. I think I did a good job at it, but it's like a very fine line you gotta walk. And you know, not a lot of videos do this kind of structure where it's going through like every event in the game, but it's very fine line. I'm glad I decided to do it. I don't even know if I did that good of a job, but you know, it's fun.
I'll probably just edit cutscenes, you know. They do some neat stuff with it, so I think it's worth mentioning at least. Wonder Red gets put in charge of the team despite only being a member for a month, and we get sent down to the first level.
Team, unite up! Roger.
That's a nice looking intro cut.
I was very rude to this scene. It is an awesome scene. I don't know why I was being so rude. I don't know why I was throwing shade on it. It's like a really good opening cutscene. It's like really nice to see every time. I was so unnecessarily mean to it right there. I don't know why. I'm gonna skip past it to really rub it into past me.
Little goos. These are the first enemies that can reasonably hurt you. They also spawn in more little guys, so take them out and then focus on the small guys that don't do much. I guess I should talk about the combat in this game. It's really good. Platinum is known for having great combat systems, and this is no different. You're pretty limited right now, but once you get more upgrades, the combat starts feeling super smooth and fast-paced. Drawing feels so natural on the right stick. Literally never use the gamepad. The PS4 controller actually has a somewhat good replacement for the gamepad with the touchpad, but it still feels really clunky to use. The game is just too fast-paced for me to look away from the action, get out my iPad 2 and start drawing. The bigger the shape you draw, the bigger the weapon will be, but it's on a timer before it shrinks back down, and if you get hit while using it, you lose it completely. And then you gotta gather all your people. It's a good risk-reward system. First gamepad puzzle of the game. It's nothing complicated, it's just match the combination. These just don't feel good a lot of the time. You could easily remove these and really nothing would be lost. I mean, there's only like 3 cool things they do throughout the game with this 2-screen setup. I guess this was just a thing Nintendo forced in because like, oh, we have to use both screens because...
Yeah, I love this image. Jerry Seinfeld Nintendo. I have this as an emote on my Discord server. It's so good. It's just so usable in so many situations.
Fucking, it's the Wii U. But then, you know, the Wii U died, so now every game has to get rid of those. But even in the Wii U version, you could just use the Pro Controller and have both screens on one screen. Most of the two-screen sections only last for like 2 minutes tops. I'm not gonna lose sleep over how bad they are, but it's like, it's just kind of there. Gacha capsules. I have a very strict policy against playing anything related to gacha.
Just remembered that footage I stole, I mean borrowed. I don't remember if I forgot what I was gonna say.
Gotcha. These, along with Wonder Toilets, are just fancy ways to give you rewards throughout levels, particularly recruits in this case. In each gacha, you're almost guaranteed to get a Wonderful member. Oh, yeah, Wonderful members. These are permanent additions to your overall member total. The max you can have is always 100, even with citizen recruits, but you can start to stage out with more people the more you get. Each one has a unique design, profile, backstory, logo, and are all voice asterisks. I'll get to that later. They range from alcoholism, crippling alcoholism, 6-year-old children. Find
Such
these
a
guys.
good joke. I remember, I think it was Adam. He was telling me how that he just fucking broke at that part. That was so funny. That's the power of. Is it pretentious to call this art? Because it technically is. I just think it sounds really pretentious though, so I don't really want to say it's art, but it is.
Throughout the world, and they're pretty neat, and some are really well hidden. Hoedowns. These guys are pretty simple. You pretty much just gotta use guts, which makes it even more crazy than the Wii U version. These are so expensive. You can throw enemies into other enemies if they get knocked down by circling them. Once you get rid of their shield, just use Fist and they'll die pretty much instantly. That man is absolutely dead, and for his sacrifice, we get a minigame. You grab a shield and have to turn to save yourself from the exploding cars. It's literally nothing special, but it's the first of these minigames that we get for like a minute, and then never again. Daidogus. These enemies are your typical bullet sponges, literally just use Fist. Especially with upgrades, they go down like instantly. After that guy, you get Geth Circles. Mini challenges that you unlock. It's usually just kill the enemies, but sometimes there's conditions, like only getting certain Unite morphs or other stuff. Didn't do a lot of these because they're like super well hidden. I ran into only like 3 throughout all my playthroughs. They're there if you want the challenge, but I don't really care enough to do all of them. The carts. The actual enemy is fine. They don't really do much that's annoying.
I know this is Battle Glidon, right? The Smash. Yes, it is. Battle Glidon.
For some reason, they have a stupid.
This song gets like a bunch of hate for no reason. I don't get it. It's good. Was it that better in the original version? Maybe. I don't care. It's good.
Amount of invincibility frames when they spawn in.
Also, Pokemon sucks.
I'm wailing on this guy and I'm not getting anything because they're still technically in their spawn-in animation when they're standing still. Levels, or operations, are split into 3 sections: the A part, the B part, and the C part. The A and B parts are similar, they're only divided up so the action doesn't drag out too long, and the C part is just one very long multi-stage boss fight. Onto the B part, we get put on this nice quiet section where we learn about rude.
like
You get to
that
learn about
part.
glider sections, and I'm not really a big fan of these. There's usually just nothing really that exciting going on with these flights, and I never really feel like I'm ascending when I ascend because of the perspective. But I mean, I guess if things were going on, it would be pretty awful because you're suspended over an instant death pit, so maybe it's a good thing. But who cares about the glider? It's time for our first real mini-boss.
This part's fucking good. Like, I am very proud of the way that like I transitioned that. That it was like, it may be like really rudimentary filmmaking techniques, but I am all over it.
This is where the game really shines. The bosses in this game are so good, man. There's so much going on in this fight with the music, the effects. You gotta hit the weak points, then turn the gears.
I
and counter the
have have something I want to say, but I'm gonna save it till later.
Bombs, it's so good. It's only a mini boss and it's pretty short, but it just gives you a taste of all the later bosses, and they only get better from here. I love it. Yuhos, man, I am really getting tired of pronouncing these names. And I'm probably pronouncing them wrong. I'm not gonna go over every individual enemy because death will come for you one day, and I want you to enjoy the
Comedy. Yes.
time you have left. So from now on, I'm only going to talk about certain enemy types if I have anything meaningful to say about them. So yeah, Yuhos, they fly and are a real pain to hit when we don't have any projectiles. Oh hey, would you look at that? Wonder Green, for his neutral special, he wields a gun. He's French, fat, and really unfunny. His main jokes are having food, saying French things, and being rude to Blue. Also, apparently he's been on the team for a while. Given that he's probably been on the team for a couple years at least, I wonder how old he is. 14? Who gave a 14-year-old a gun? Thank fuck he is an American.
Boom, 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 boom. Somebody asked me about shooting up buildings. That take a lot of work. I want you to think about thinking smarter, not harder.
I try hard, or at least I did try hard to not like rely on like memes, but because I think they kind of like date a video, you know. But that just like Martin, fuck, I forgot his name. Martin. Oh wait, Martin. Okay. Guy? No, okay, that just clip of the fucking that take a lot of work. I want you to think smarter, not harder. That's just so funny.
That take a lot of work. I want you to think about thinking smarter, not harder.
This is the only time I was like, okay, fine, I'll use a little clip for it. Yeah.
Gameplay-wise, Green serves a good purpose of attacking targets that are far away, and does really well against bosses that spend a lot of time out of reach. Red does a lot of damage to one enemy up close, Blue does damage to a wide range of enemies, and Green does damage to far away enemies. Even after you hit an enemy with gun, they get chip damage dealt to them as your teammate punches the guy that they're clinged onto. You have a lot of reason to switch between all three at this point. They all have a lot of little quirks. They all have a lot of little things to help them stand apart, like Blue reflecting lasers and absorbing lightning, and Green having the ability to pick up bombs and fire them back. You can never rely on just one morph, and it's really fun to switch between them, especially when you lock later upgrades like Speedliner and Multi-Unite. Another 2-screen section, and this time we play a timing roulette minigame that involves both screens. Man, I am so glad I bought a Wii U.
We are not blind.
So, the sniveling worms dare to defy the guild of evil aliens terrorizing humans with gigawatt bombs, energy beams, ray guns, and killer lasers? This time, the mighty Lambo will wipe their simpering smiles from the face of the planet!
Lambo is
I love that scene, that cutscene so much. I think if there is any cutscene clip in the game that can just immediately sell someone on Wonderful 101, that is it. This fucking scene with Lambo. I might be wrong about that, but I would be very hard pressed to think of any other scene that just has so much personality immediately. It's just so good.
is easily one of the best villain characters. And his boss for this level is also great. You have to switch between all three morphs, Green to shoot back the bombs, Blue to take out the little guys, and Red for fighting Lambo himself. Love the little guys in the stands cheering for Lambo. It's a nice touch I appreciate it. Lambo retreats and you play baseball with the cannon's bombs, and it feels so impactful to knock them back. Operation 1C starts of story. Don't let the statues be destroyed. That is basically the plot for 90% of this game. We get unlimited form.
Disabling their Shirogane drive limiters, they push their suits to reach new levels of Unite energy capacity. However, this power comes at a cost. Extended operation in unlimited form can cause considerable damage to team members, and an overheating drive can explode with teratons of force. The ultimate weapon is the ultimate double-edged sword.
That double-edged sword part literally never comes into play. It's pretty much just that the battery gauge is set to max without needing to collect batteries.
Hey, jerk face! You ain't getting away from me!
I'll talk about Luca later. First phase is a
So
shoot 'em up
true.
section, and it's one of the mini games that actually shows up later. Shoot the fireballs and avoid the goop balls. If you get hit, you have to re-grab the wheel. Thankfully, you don't have to mash the fire button, you can just
Oh,
hold
wait,
it
am I?
down.
Oh, right. Yeah, no,
Once you
carry on.
fire enough at the dragon,
Okay, yeah, the reason why this is a 720p is because I don't think I had my capture card yet at this point. Yeah, actually, no, I didn't. I only got that, like, this year. Um, and the PS4, it only records up to 720p, 30 FPS. So that's why.
dragon gets to walk on a chain to get on its back. They put a lot of detail into the background for this scene. It looks really nice. A lot of the backgrounds look really good when you get to look at them. The rest of the fight is just getting to beat up the dragon. Like I said earlier, green does really well for these types of fights. A lot of the time it's just waiting for them to attack, so green is great for dealing damage. Blue and red also get used to reflect lasers when the dragon gets stunned. The set piece for this fight is just so cool, and the quick time events
I'm
are
not gonna
really
talk
well
about that.
done. I usually hate quick time events, but for this game they just work really well. It's so satisfying to beat the shit out of the bosses in this game. Next phase is just
I think, I have a thing where I just let the game talk. Like, if there's, like, a set piece from a game that just, or, like, some kind of, like, iconic thing from a game that you can just use and it'll, like, just show it. I don't need to, like, put my, like, commentary on this. I can just show it, and it'll do a 10 million times better of a job explaining it than anything I could. I think doing that sparingly, really helps. Like, with that scene of really just show them the full thing of just that dragon getting fucking pushed into that building. I think in my Hat in Time video, I really overdid it on the letting the cutscenes play, because I did it for like half of the fucking, like, I think like the last 20 minutes, or like the last 3 chapters, and I, like, so much of that time is just the cutscenes playing, and like I could have definitely just made it better, but I didn't. Like, I don't like the Hat in Time video. That, like, I feel like it's fine, but like just that one thing really just soils it for me, I guess. Um, Maybe I'm being too harsh, but I also was not doing the greatest when I was video, so I guess it's eh.
just throwing shit at Lambo under a time limit. Lambo gets a second dragon, and holy shit, Platinum does so well with boss fights. A lot of the fight is just waiting, but I forget about that when you shoot a fucking arrow into him and slice him in half.
Unite hand!
Operation
so
2, Blossom City Center. The 5G tower has been intercepted and isn't giving the aliens cancer. Go fix that.
That joke, surprisingly, isn't dated in 2021. Maybe it will be soon. But, you know, currently, 1 year anniversary, it's still holding strong as a relevant joke.
This is just some more city levels to get you feeling comfortable before the game branches out into wacky shit. Nothing that different from the first levels, except now more focused on rooftops instead of streets. You get put into a subway section mini-game, I guess. You gotta dodge walls while shooting at enemies. The vehicle has a health bar, and you can't switch rails while using morphs. It makes for a really memorable area of how chaotic it feels. And transitions into a boss fight with...
Surrender my arms. I'm afraid that is not going to happen. You see, I need them for battle. A righteous battle, I might add. The reasons for which I would be happy to iterate for you should take about 10 to 15 minutes of your time, Blunder Red. Shall we begin?
Wonder Red. And, yeah, fine.
Vorkin is a great villain. He was the guy who was teased in the prologue. He's the evil clone version of your team, and he has great...
Yeah, Vorkin. I love Vorkin. He's awesome. Vorkin's cool. Nice. He is funny. What was I talking about? Shit.
Great fucking writing. For his actual fight, though, I feel like he's one of the lesser bosses. Maybe it's just because they reuse it so much, but I feel like something's lacking here. Vorkin uses all of the morphs you have, and even some bonus abilities like Unite Guts and Unite Tombstone in later fights. But it really ends up becoming running and waiting for him to use a fist attack, counter, use fist, repeat. I don't know, it just kind of lacks a sense of grandness from the other boss fights, even with the super good music and Vorkin taunting you the whole fight.
Dying is a terrible thing.
As long as you avoid his up B out of shield, he's no challenge. After you beat him, you get thrown off the ship and have some more quick time events. Also, I should probably mention, every one of these quick time events has a unique animation for failing them. All of them.
I want to just reiterate, I love like the attention to detail like this. Like, it's just, you don't have to do it, but just the fact that they did, just, it's so much love. Like, it's so good.
It really just shows another level of effort considering how much time they gave you to complete these. Holy shit. I'm drawing a straight line here. Really shows how much personality they wanted to put into the characters. New mechanic, Spikes. You get Wonder Pink, whose weapon...
Amy Rose's theme from Sonic Adventure, My Sweet Passion. Yeah, that is it. I think this is the longest a background song goes for in this video. I think this goes on for like, I want to say 6 minutes of just this theme. And what was funny is that I learned later that my friend Adam really fucking hates this song. So oops. I think it's kind of swag, pretty based, not very uncringe, you know. But
is a whip. Her personality is basically just woman.
The keyword is fashionably. I got in late last night, but there was this party, and then the after party, and then the after party. I needed a major.
Oh wait, you know what? Blur this out, but the thumbnail. Here we go. Okay, yeah, this thumbnail. Yeah. Yeah, this was a bitch. I don't know. Fun. What did I? Fine. This is a Goku hair. This gradient at the bottom is because of the movie player on Windows. I hadn't installed VLC, and whenever you pause it, has this little gradient at the bottom. It's weird. Also, this hand. Oh shit. There we go. This hand. This is painted by hand in MS Paint. Now I'm stuck in another thumbnail, but go.
Powder break to freshen up before meeting you guys. Good thing I made it on time.
And she is probably the least funny character in the entire game. It's just, haha, makeup. Haha, she gets emotional. Haha, she likes boys. Isn't that so crazy in real?
I had...
You've just seen it a million times before, you know? She reminds me of my sister that breaks traffic laws. Also,
okay, I don't know if I still have this, but I had a take where I just did all of that, like all of that was in multiple takes, but I had one where I just did it all in one breath, and I don't know if it's still around. I know I shared it on my in a group chat. I don't know if I still have. I don't know if I deleted it. I might have deleted it, but if I still have it, I'll play it right now because it was like completely terrible, but it was so funny.
So apparently she's from Transylvania. They just casually mention it.
We've been waiting for you, Ms. Mariana Kresresco, Sentinel Special Combat Agent from the Transylvania Field Office.
You think the Transylvania character would be like a vampire or something because, haha, that's the thing from Transylvania. It's not that they don't have characters that are just popular thing associated with country. Gameplay-wise, Pink is used to get rid of spikes, and outside of spikes, her main use is for things that aren't too far away where you're forced to use gun, but aren't too close where it's better to use sword or fist. I didn't really use her when I didn't didn't have to in normal gameplay. Whip is really good in specific boss fights, but in normal gameplay, I only really used her when I had to. It's a bit redundant, but I can easily say she isn't the worst morph. However, spiked enemies just end up feeling like a chore after a while. You can't do any damage to them until their spikes are off. It just leads me to spamming Whip until I can switch to Fist and kill them in 3 seconds. And they have this move that's just like strutting forward and annihilating your entire team. You really shouldn't get hit by this, but yet you do. Maybe if Whip did slight damage to them when they still had their armor, it would feel a bit less slow. Oh hey, Giant Robot is back. It's not so much a boss this time and more just one giant escape sequence. You're jumping from building to building, you gotta go in this area where the floor is collapsing, and then the building goes sideways, you gotta walk in the windows, it's fun. And then the game stops having fun to do a 2-screen section.
Yeah,
To
if
be
you can
fair, this is
notice
one of
that the Amy Rose theme is still playing. Yep.
more creative 2-screen sections, but I mean, it's still not fun. You gotta control the ship by moving to
The background music was yeah, it's mostly from just Wonderful 101, but I do like having weirder songs for the songs that I do pick. I think now I do like a lot of, you'll find a lot more obscure stuff, but I have stuff like Fight or Flight from Rivals of Aether, Sonic Adventure, I think like now I have like, I use the JoJo Heritage for the Future soundtrack a lot, and like Silver Case, a lot more obscure stuff, but I like Arc from Persona 5, Clear Skies, the the museum theme for Sonic Gems Collection. I don't know, I think it's just, you gotta find a balance between good music and stuff that won't get you copyrighted. Oh yeah, I have a Doom theme here. Yeah, Signs of Evil from Doom. Yeah, 1993.
to buttons on the bottom screen, then look at the top screen to see what's actually going on. Remind you of anything? You can't go any faster than the game wants you to. It's one giant auto-scroller. The perspective leads me to not knowing what lane I'm in compared to obstacles. Even then, they're so easy to avoid, you pretty much gotta be actively trying to die here. I mean, it's not the longest thing ever, but I was just having so much fun a second ago, and then you just gotta throw this in there. Anyway, boss time. It's this thing on top of the tower. It's got this move where it stops you from using Unite Morphs for like 3 seconds. It has a laser that you can't reflect for some reason. That was lame. Where's that big robot guy? Now this is a good boss fight. You have to
That scene, I still think Lambo's scene is enough to sell someone on a game. It is the best one to sell someone on this game, but that scene, very close second. It is so good. It's just so.
to defend the tower from his attacks by blocking them or throwing them back
This
at it.
song too, Gagujin's Revenge. This song is my fucking jam. Like that's it's so good. Well, like it has this fucking soundtrack for these games, like these obscure games. Like someone put their heart and soul into this, and it's just like 20k views on YouTube. No one cared. Fucking like, and it's uncopyrighted. No content ID. Shit.
Them. You have aircrafts coming in and shooting at him to help you out and by giving you new team members. You can heal the tower by circling these electric spots. Pink and green really excel in this fight because they can do really good damage from far away. Also, there's a Beautiful Joe reference here if you fail this quick time event 10 times in a row.
Oh my god! What is happening, girl?
Nothing, girl.
How is Joe?
He's good, but he stood me up last
Joe Mama.
night. Said something about the last movie in a Red Hot trilogy.
He did what? Tell him to quit going to the movies all the time. Such a deadbeat.
I know.
No, I do not think he's red hot. You are a crazy girl.
And they just never. Last movie in a Red Hot trilogy, Beautiful Joe 3, just still never happened.
That's fun. You go into its core, blow it up, and that's the boss. Good shit. Plot time. Big plasma shield protects Earth. 5 generators disguised as statues power shield. Aliens are attacking the generators to destroy the shield that protects Earth so they can destroy Earth. This is the first level that strays from the typical
That line right there.
to destroy the shield that protects Earth so they can destroy Earth. This
I
is
remember that was a bitch to record. Fucking, I stutter so much. It was awful. Ew.
the first level that strays from the typical city setting, and it's got some pretty creative fuck you, Luca. I will get to the small child at a later point in time. This level does some pretty cool stuff, like jumping from plane to plane, going into cargo bays, with boxes sliding around, gambling halls. Is this a plane or a hotel? I really like the new enemy design here, the N-Vans. They look kinda spooky, not like terrifying,
Okay, fucking,
but more like if I looked up one day and saw 10 of those things in the sky, I'd give up. You find Professor
these fucking things, okay, I'm not sure if I should wait until now, wait until a different part, but, the Wonderful 101 wiki has, like, nothing, and, like, I was like, okay, how do I get a picture of the N-Vans, because I needed it for, like, a certain scene. It's coming up here. I think it's at the end of this chapter, but, like, right at the end of this chapter, but, oh wait, no, it's, like, right near the middle. Okay, so I went to the Wikipedia page and they don't have a page for N-Vans. And so I think I just posted one and like it was a page for N-Vans and I just did nothing and I was hoping that someone else would do it because I was lazy. I don't know if it ever did. And I don't Now's the time. Now's the time to check, right? Wonderful 101 Wikipedia. If not now, then when? It has not changed since I did it. Yep. This was how I left it. History. Yup. Yep, no, this game, no one gives a shit about fucking Wonderful 101.
but more like if I looked up one day and saw 10 of those things in the sky, I'd give up. We find Professor Shirogane, who's important because plot of later in the game, and we find Yellow. Fun fact, during Wonder Yellow's intro cutscene, my game fucked out and
Oh, I forgot about this! That's so weird. So weird, fucking damn.
Any of Red's textures in this cutscene.
Also, on way to airport to come here, I get lost. I almost miss plane.
Hey man, you sure you want to fly over the open ocean during all this?
This was the scene I got I needed the cutout for, and I was really concerned, but thankfully,
Spooky, not like terrifying, but more like if I looked up one day and saw 10 of
Right.
those things in the sky, I'd get
right here, like this like cutout, I was able to go and like remove BG, and usually with video game stuff they have a problem, but because of like just like it's black and it's so contrasting from the background, I was able to do it. So, and also this sound
Hey
is
man, you sure you want to fly over the open ocean during all this?
that sound is a bee swarm, and it had to be really volume lowered to be usable.
You bet your fucking ass I do. Gameplay-wise, Yellow is a hammer, and I'm not a big fan of him, honestly. Hammer is supposed to be a very slow but very powerful attack, so naturally you expect it to be very strong to compensate for its long startup, but in reality it's almost entirely outclassed by Fist. The small version of the hammer is almost pathetic for how long it takes, making the only option the large hammer you get from drawing a large shape. However, that version is on a timer and only allows you to do 2 to 3 hits before it goes back down to normal size, and the hits from it are good but aren't like great or amazing or anything. Compare this to Fist, where by the time you get Yellow, you've upgraded it enough to where you can kill a big enemy and still have some charge to go for another guy. Yellow just kinda ends up feeling irrelevant. In the structure of the morphs, Yellow does damage to a specific enemy up close, but isn't good enough to be used. Maybe it could have been changed a bit by making it so he has super armor to go through an attack or something. At least then you would have not had to block and get screwed because of the timer. Now some may say that Yellow is designed to be used in multi-unites, which allow you to use 2 weapons at once. Which, fair point, especially considering multi-unites are available from the shop right before this mission, but even then I don't know if Yellow is the best at multi-unites. Yellow is really only used to break the armor on these turtle guys and spots where the game requires him. Outside of that, he's easily the least used out of the main 7 for me. At least Yellow as a character is charming. He's Russian, he speaks broken English, and is shy. How can you not love him? I mean, he's not the funniest character, but I don't want to actively shut him up. Also, I should probably mention this at some point. If you circle around the little guys when they're in that long blowing up animation, you can make them join your team. They act as normal team members, but it's neat. This level has some cool stuff besides this, like having to use a sword to absorb lightning to power a generator, and having to
You know, it's kind of weird. Like, if you have some like random miscellaneous facts, like this, I feel like you just gotta throw them in at some point. It's weird to find the spot where you gotta throw them in, but I feel like it's weird for me because I can't imagine throwing that part in any other point. I probably could have, but I can't imagine it. You know, not in my brain. It's just like ingrained. I'm sure someone else could have fucking done it, but and why am I acting? I don't know. Maybe.
team. They act as normal team members, but it's absorb lightning to power a generator, and having 2 turret sections against the N-Vans. One that's like the dragon boss, and one where you shoot in full 3D. Also the spinning tunnel section, even though the camera sometimes shoves stuff off screen. Then you have a fight on one of the N-Vans' heads, and you have to fight with these shock ring things. It's really memorable. They really had a lot of ideas when it came to fighting in the air. I like it. Juana, who was one of the main things I remembered about this game from when I first played it back in 2013. Well, not Juana himself. I remembered his robot dragon. Grab a missile and have to dodge N-Vans and lasers at the core of Juana's ship, and then you get to fight the dragon. You have to climb on its back while dodging missiles and fighting enemies. Also, fuck these electric eel things. I didn't know you could use pink to stun them until my second playthrough. Please just use pink for them, because they're a nightmare to deal without her. You make the dragon bite itself in half, and then you have to fight on top of one of the N-Vans. You gotta use his attacks against him, whether it be destroying his saws, climbing on his spears, or hitting his energy balls back at him. Probably one of the lesser boss fights simply for its over-reliance on minigames, but it's memorable at least.
Woo-wee! Now that's what you call old-fashioned Southern ingenuity. Or in slightly more technical terms, a subspace stealth falcon.
That son of a bitch.
The image, yeah, all of these fucking images. This is the image that I cut out for that N-Van bee swarm scene. I'm just looking at this. Huh. That no one's ever seen that before. You are looking at prime unseen content. Tetrabit Gaming out here.
We knew this day was a coming, so we whipped up a little something sure to stop them invaders in their tracks. Feast your peepers on the Shirogane Comet.
The Shirogane Comet?
My baby's
Did
a
I
super
skip through this? I don't
dreadnought-class
remember.
weapon
I
on
don't
a
have anything to
10-year
say.
orbit around Earth.
I
An
think I-
antimatter particle cannon, capable of knocking a whole planet off her rocker in an instant. We finished her up after Earth Defense War 2, see? And disguised her as a comet to throw everyone off the scent. Now, we wait 24 hours for them jerks to come into firing range, and victory is ours.
Oh, yeah, cool story, bro. Would have been nice if you shared that sooner.
Alas, I must agree with Blue. You do realize we spent an entire day on the Shirogane Comet during Sentinel's orientation?
That's Pink's one and only good joke in the entire game. Neo Moo, the
It was a good joke. I forgot. I think I was planning to say something there, but I realized I didn't have anything to say.
this game's water level, but it's okay because the water doesn't do anything.
This is I believe this song's title is "The Pleasure of Doing Business." The Price of Doing Business. Shit. Spectre of Torment's so fucking good.
It's supposed to be a future underwater city like Rapture without the mutation drones. You don't swim in the water, you just walk over, and you don't go under unless you bring out Hammer. You don't need to stay as Hammer though, you can just switch to anyone.
It was very quick, and I'm wondering if it was on accident or not. Because remember that was a thing that I had trouble with. It was cutting clips too soon or cutting clips too late. That was one of those. I'm not very good at editing, but I try.
one and you'll be fine. You don't go slower or have an air meter like in most games. Well, okay, you do go slower technically, but it's so small a change that I was only able to tell comparing footage side by side. The only major difference is that you fall slower. Water is basically just land too.
That
Next main
joke's
wonderful
so
member.
funny. That joke is hilarious. It's so funny. Yo. I think it's crazy how we're 30 minutes into this, and yet I've had so much to say about everything. Like, I think it just goes to show how densely packed this is. I really enjoy. I'm really proud of this video. I don't want to. Let's just keep going.
Wonder White. White is cool as fuck. He's got claws. He's Japanese. He can freeze enemies. He's super good for getting your combo score up. I really like the sections where he can climb up walls with him. His normal attack sends you forward, and he can do some cool abstract platforming. And by abstract platforming, I mean jank, because holy shit, some of this stuff is just not functional, but it's good jank. Jank can be good, everyone. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I still fucking agree with this. Jank is good. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise.
Jank can be good, everyone.
Do not let a single person tell you that your game should be completely free of bugs. That is propaganda by Ubisoft. Wait, no, not even that's propaganda by the Nintendo police. Fuck Nintendo.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Also, for some reason, sometimes when you deal damage, you can...
I was very stupid about this part. It's just that if you have a really high combo, you get... if you have a really high combo, you get your health back. And I guess it was just a thing with White. Oh, some commenter told me about that. Hold on, it was someone down here. Energy converter custom block. It allows excess energy to gain to heal you. Yeah, that was it.
Regain some of your health back. It seems to be most common with White. I don't know what causes it. I guess it has something to do with your combo, but bonus points for White anyway. Also, his quick time event shout is one of the best in the game. That is a power scream. This chapter's villain is Vajone.
How dare you! I was doing my turn on the catwalk while you were still in diapers!
I swear I have heard this voice before. I can't remember.
About that, like me saying like, oh, I swear I've heard this voice before. My friend, I don't want to say his name, but like this guy that like I barely talk to. We've gone kind of distant in recent years, but he said like, hey man, I watched your video, and he sent me like the Wikipedia article for like every role that the voice actor of Vajone has done, and like I was looking through it and I was like, man, I wonder who I can't, where have I heard this voice before? I think it's like some voice modulator thing that they did, because I cannot remember shit about, or maybe it was like some uncredited role or something, I don't know, but I never learned where I heard that voice before. I think it was from some fucking Power Rangers thing. I think I was babysitting some kid and we were watching Power Rangers, and it was some villain had that voice. I might just be completely misremembering that. I don't know. But let's go on.
Where? But I know I have heard it before. You fight her as Solely Blue. She has an attack that turns you into a dog. You need to have the attack that turns you into a dog. Without the attack that turns you into a dog, the game would feel incomplete. Her boss is pretty simple, all things considered, but she makes Blue fall down, and this is actually for something interesting. Since we don't have Blue anymore, you think you wouldn't be able to use Sword for this section, but you're wrong. You see, every one of the Wonderful members has a weapon assigned to them, so when you don't have the main Wonderful character, it goes to one of the other members, but that's not the interesting part. All of these characters are fully voiced. When you get a game over, you get a screen of whatever character you're playing as, and they say Roger when you hit continue.
Roger!
Along with the voice clips when they attack and get hit and stuff. I only managed to get footage of Wonder Gamer, yes that's his name, and Wonder Guitar for the game over screen, and when going through my footage, I found me playing as Wonder Professor for a couple seconds.
Roger!
I don't know if in the video itself there is a point of me playing as a different character other than the main one. Because it very well could be. But I have no idea. I have not checked my own footage that much. I still think it's really cool how all of them have voices. That's just like very interesting. And obviously, there was never, no one ever went out and found all the voice clips. I'm pretty sure you could just do it if, since this game is on PC now, you probably could like do some shit. I don't actually know how hard decompiling a PC game is, but
It's possible that all 100 wonderful members have their own unique voice clips, which if that's true, that's insane dedication for something 0.01% of players would ever see. I couldn't find a compilation of all the game over screens on YouTube, probably because this game wasn't that popular and it would definitely be a bitch to get all of them, but if someone could do that, that would be fucking amazing. If every character really is voiced, I would bet actual money that there are some voice clips that no player has ever heard. Okay, you get blue back in time for a 2-screen section that's functional with a question mark. You gotta keep track of which color is getting shot at and make sure you're not on that color, but like, wow, this is weird. Also, I just remembered this recently. In the Wii U version, you had to control the camera in these 2-screen sections using gyro, including this one. Why even fucking bother? I enjoy the jank, but like, wow, how did this happen?
I would like to thank YouTuber 4Face Buttons for being the one that reminded me that in the Wii U version it was gyro. They mentioned it in their review of the game that came out while I was reviewing the game, making the. It's a good. He came out. I think he said he didn't like the game, but yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's a good video. Why did I like say it like that? Like, no, it actually is really good. They just didn't like the game for very valid reasons.
Operation 4B is basically just a story stage, so sorry if things get a little bit boring, but like I have to talk about it because it works with the gameplay in weird ways. I gotta mention it. So anyway, another
oh,
Vorkin fight.
Oh, that's a black frame. Okay. I played Persona 5. I think I don't know if it was right while I was playing this game, or while I was making this video. It was during the time of me playing Persona 5, and I was doing those two things at the same time. Yeah. I think I beat Persona 5 in like October? Might be wrong with that. But that was like a massive time sink. Like fucking Persona was so good. And it's like 100 hours. And I specifically played that game for the Isis project, playing one game from every series in Smash that I've been working on for 2 years. I have been working on this longer than this video's been out. Spent 100 hours on just the one game, but that video, if you think this video is impressive, I am going to make sure that every series in Smash video is so good. That's like my main goal, and then after that I'll quit YouTube. Not actually, but you know, maybe. I don't know, fucking I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I'll just show up whenever I feel like it. Yeah, I'll talk about it later.
It's basically the same as the first one, except now with Whip, Hammer, and Claw, and Vorkin can replicate certain enemies' attacks like these turtle guys. Nothing that particularly groundbreaking or worth mentioning, everything all over again. Aw, cool, new enemy. Hey, wait a minute. This is just a rescanned Lambo. Actually, on the danger meter at the bottom, Lambo is like way lower than half the things we're fighting now. How did this guy become a general? He must have just really sounded like he knew what he was talking about. Joan causes a flood, Blue goes ahead, all the team members except Red get stuck stopping the flood, you go after Blue. The girl from the spaceship that showed up earlier but I didn't mention to make the script flow better shows up and introduces herself as Immorta. She tells you she's a member of the Space Police and basically tells you to get your shit together. Because we don't have any team members, we can't use Unite Morse, but to compensate, all the enemies have really low health, so it's a neat diversion. You have a boss fight against Blue. It doesn't last that long, but it's kind of annoying. You only have fists and he has this long-ass sword, so it's so easy to get comboed. It's like fighting Lucina, but that's to make it even...
These Smash clips, there was one with Cloud earlier, I think. I was playing with Farticles, a very cool Lucas player that I was in a Smash Brothers crew with, and I just asked him like, hey, can you play a couple rounds with me? I just need some like very specific footage. And it was like Cloud Uppy out of Shield, and then Little Mac versus Lucina, and we were just like, okay, I need you to like get me.
And worse, you're
And
playing as
so,
Little Mac.
yeah, that was perfect. Thanks, Ethan, for articles. I don't know, maybe I'll bleep out his name.
Beat each other up, you get this gear thing, and I know this is a really small thing to nitpick, but this gear takes a surprising amount of mashing to work.
This footage is from Mario Party, the Mario Party 4 world record on a minigame.
It really threw me off of how fast you need to press square in comparison to every other mashing segment in the entire game.
I was raised by my big brother. It's just been him and me ever since I can remember. Not the easiest life in the world, maybe, but man, that guy's like a superhero to me. You know, he was with the FBI, tracking down Geth Jerk after the last invasion. When I was younger, he got a lead on a case he'd been working on for a long time. He and his partner were after alien intelligence.
I think this scene, it's fine. I like keeping it in. It's like, I don't know, I feel like in the Hat in Time video I really overstepped it with the cutscenes, but here I think it worked a lot better, because I think there's just the flow. Like, it's just non-stop going fast, you know?
Intelligence. Some operatives holed up in a safe house on Earth was a trap. Geth Jerk had a mole in the FBI. His team was wiped out, and worse, they got their hands on some files containing our defense secrets. Turns out the mole was his partner. She sold him out. And that's why Bijon needs to die. And she's gonna pay for it if I have to cut it out of her. It's the whole reason I joined this team in the first place.
After that heartfelt backstory, play some Fireboy and Water Girl.
Ooh, I just remembered something about this scene. So, this Fireboy and Water Girl footage comes from a child playing in like it's like 240p, and the reason why it's like cut off weird is because her face was here. And is this footage still up? I don't think it was. That's right. So I downloaded it, and then it was gone when I went back to find the footage of it, which means I think she either deleted it or her channel got deleted for her being a child. It's one of the two. It's hard to say. Or her parents deleted the channel. But that was the only Fire Girl and Fireboy and Water Boy footage that I could find with the cool math games border. That's why I don't think I'm like 99% sure I do not have that footage still. I don't know.
Cool math games.
Oh my, I hope I'm not interrupting.
Come on, man, can we stop with the story for a bit? I want to talk about game mechanics, not write a book report for summer reading. Finally, mini boss against this tank thing. I really like this guy because it combines a lot of Unite moves. Use green and pink to throw back different types of bombs, white climbs to its weak point, and red deals...
For fucking Persona 5 soundtrack, everyone like, oh man, I love Beneath the Mask, I love Last Surprise. No one ever talks about like Price and When My Mother Was Still Here and Arc, like the dungeon themes, because they're not in Smash Brothers, but they're so good.
Damage. It's probably one of the best non-C mission bosses. Speaking of C mission bosses, it's time for it, finally. Bijon has an octopus mech and you use every Unite morph to beat her. In the first phase, she attacks you.
Song? Gravity Ridiculin Cut? Yeah, I think that's right.
With two limbs, and you use green to deal chip damage and pink to deal damage when they're closer and to throw back spike bombs. Blue to reflect lasers, red to deal damage when they get stunned, and yellow to knock her off the statue. Second phase amps things up of attacking with...
Yeah, this, So apparently, like, this is completely unrelated to the actual video, but, the Ridiculin Cut of Cave Story, it's the Cave Story soundtrack done by the Binding of Isaac team, or the Binding of Isaac composers. Also, I need to hold this mic closer to my face because I don't know if it's picking up what I'm saying or not, and that's very scary because I do not want to redo this. But yeah, it's, and also you can't find it on YouTube. I don't think they were officially allowed to sell it, which is very weird. But that's because what the fuck is the name of like Nikonal or some shit? They're a very shady company. I don't even.
Four limbs. You gotta deal damage with green, absorb lightning and reflect lasers, and chop gunk with blue, rip spikes off with pink, and deal damage with red. Multiple limps will try to attack you at once, so you gotta switch.
It's like Nicholas. That's the name. It's like Nicholas, but I don't know actually Nicalis. I don't remember.
Back and forth constantly. Then in phase 3, you gotta use white to open up her eye to attack while dodging her drills. It's really fun, and this is the only boss that uses all your abilities. I wish more bosses did this. But like, I guess the other bosses make up for it depending on how you look at it by having entirely new concepts. This is one of the few bosses that is all standard gameplay all the time, and the standard gameplay is really good, so I welcome that. Operation 5 is a level in Africa, and if you haven't already, make sure to buy Multi-Unite because it gets really useful in this area.
Operation 005, Mount Ogato, Lost City of Lorule.
Oh, nice. Let me grab my 3DS real quick.
I like how about that joke. I forgot about that joke, and I really like how it links back to itself in a few minutes.
The level transition from the outside to the inside of the temple. I hate these cube guys. They're like mini Vorkins of level transition from the outside to the inside of the temple. I hate these.
So this green stuff. That is I was drawing a Unite gun as I went into this cutscene, and the like green part stayed in as the camera was. So if you ever wondered what this was, that's it.
These cube guys, they're like mini Vorkins of transforming into different Unite morphs, and then you need to counter.
Also, someone told me about this in the comments. Full automatic. That was me being a dummy. Yeah, just this comment by Luke Garati plus Gerard. I just love going into the comments and just absolutely butchering every fucking name that I see. It's awesome.
Or a fist or hammer, and
But
for
yeah,
some reason
I was
moves
being dumb right here. I probably should have tested it, but you know that's how.
default to using their cyclone moves against these guys. When you unlock these, it says to spin the stick around when you press the attack button. I'm not spinning anything here. Each one of these cube things counts as an individual enemy, so I'm guessing the game thinks if there's this big a group of enemies in front of me, that I would probably want to do a cyclone to hit all of them. Which sounds good on paper and is good when they're all stunned and separated, but I wish you could just do a standard jab against these guys when they're all just floating together. We get our last permanent Unite Morph member, Wonder Black, and he's a video gamer who plays video games. And he grabbed his 3DS. Oh yeah, gaming time.
I like and he grabbed his 3DS. It links back to itself. That's fun. And also, these gaming shirts. This comes from a very personal place because I think I had one. I think my parents bought me like one of those like NES shirts that's like classically trained, and I unironically wore it. And I am very sad that I did that. I was very lonely throughout like most of my middle school. It's fucking awful.
My right lads are in my right lads. Does anyone know how this stuff happened? This stuff where it's like 4 gamers but also making fun of them at the same time? Why would you ever wear this shit? It's actively calling you a crackhead. Is there like a clear origin point for this stuff?
I forgot fucking crackhead.
Moment where this stuff caught on. Genuinely curious. Okay, incoherent tangent over. Back to my video about Extreme Pikmin. Wonder Black's morph is a bomb and it slows down
Extreme Pikmin, I forgot about that. I like that.
time for anyone caught in its blast radius, which really lets you tack on damage. It's super good for multi-unites, which by pressing triangle lets you use the unite morph, but quickly switch to another one while the move is still active. Send out bomb, quickly change the fist and kill them. It's pretty much required for these Dory guys. They block pretty much every attack if they aren't slowed down. The only real downside to using this is that it takes up a ton of your energy meter. Also, I'm gonna put a spoiler warning here. I know it seems kinda dumb to put a spoiler warning 45-ish minutes into the video.
No. No, it is not 45 minutes, but I appreciate the attempt. I think I had a lot of stuff I cut out from the script to this. So I think 45 minutes is a fair assessment on my end. Or was a fair assessment, but then obviously it was not true.
video, but all the characters that have been unlocked so far on the box and the game's title screen. So if you don't want to be spoiled and you really care about the story or whatever the fuck, get out. Vorkin ship attacks when we get into a chase sequence ends with a timing minigame using yellow. Do you think the people that played Tennis for Two in the 1970s thought that gaming would ever lead to this? The actual fight with Vorkin is pretty much the same as the last two, except now that he has Bomb, Chugi does a spin attack that takes up a portion of the playing field, he has a few more abilities from the shop, that's pretty much it. What I'm actually going to use this opportunity to talk about is the game's items. Obviously there's the main healing items and the items that refill your energy meter, but there's also Fire Victory and Thunder Victory torpedoes that shoot missiles onto the map. But what's 100 times more interesting is the Justice Missile, which you get from rescuing citizens.
I think using like some of these creative liberties, like if you have something where it's just like you've already talked about it, taking that time to talk about like a weirder part to like some items that no one uses, like, it's very interesting, I guess. Oh, I thought I did it. I thought I was a little clever little boy doing this.
On each stage, and you manually aim it with the right stick and shoot it at your target. It does good damage and is a really cool idea, but it lowers your rank, so I just end up forgetting all the items exist. Anyway, you beat them but also lose, Mortis saves you, and there's a Dig Dug style minigame. I didn't expect this, but it somehow works really well. The B part of the level is based a lot around problem solving. You gotta dodge lava waves by getting onto high ground, and then you do a mini boss by timing when to get off these spike platforms so it hits the robot. You gotta bring a blue orb over to this area without it getting destroyed so you can get a statue, and then on the way back, the area gets flipped and you have to climb up your way with white. We get to a door and... holy shit, I will talk about the small infant child at a later point in time.
So
Boss time. The first phase is similar to the Chapter 2 boss because you gotta protect the platform you're on from taking too much damage. Pink and green are great here like you'd expect. Now, second phase is where shit gets real because you go inside the robot and get to control it and you get a punch-out style boss fight. I think any game with a punch-out boss is just blessed to be good. It's also a little more complex than Punch-Out 2. Any game with a punch-out boss is just blessed to be good.
This Enter the Gungeon is 100% my top 10 favorite games of all time. Try top 3 now.
It's also a little more complex than Punch-Out 2, with a jump button and a version of star punches and KO meter at the same time. As a huge Punch-Out fan, I gotta say it's a good fight too. The attacks are telegraphed by the eyes and face like in the Tyson fight. I really like that detail. You go inside his robot and he's super easy if you use Bomb. Legit, look how fast that health bar is draining. There's one last phase where you escape from the volcano where you simply need to dodge the attacks for a certain amount of time. It's one of the shorter bosses, but it has Punch-Out, so I'm legally obligated to love it. You take Luca and head for the game's ice level. Gawkin Island. More like Cockin Island.
Is this part of this collection of images? No, it is not. I forgot what this... oh, okay, so what I was gonna do was... I think I was either gonna green screen it, or I was gonna cut out this part, because I was still learning how the fuck, Sony Vegas works, because it's very weird. I recorded this, I made this on Sony Vegas, by the way. Now I use Adobe Premiere, and I still don't understand that. But I think what I just did instead is that I just did MS Paint. So that's why this is really low quality when you look at it. But when it goes by real quick, you don't notice, I guess.
Because this is pretty much just Mount Ogerto Blue Edition. Now, with ice physics, all the ice just acts as lava.
Was that an Oni reference on my part? Oni NG? Game Boy SP Blue Edition? I don't remember or not if I did that on purpose, but
The only thing that's specifically ice related that it has is bringing flames to melt ice of red, and maybe this one section with icy wind, but that's it. If this was your child, would you be proud of them?
I forgot about that joke. That's like one of my favorite jokes in this
section
video.
with icy wind, but that's it. If this was your...
I made numerous test versions of this and posted it in group chats a lot, Discord servers and shit, and it was very funny. Or maybe it was to me. But I am very proud of this joke.
Your child, would you be proud of them? Vajon comes... wait, didn't we kill her? We didn't? Boo. Blue gets angry, falls into a trap, and is rescued, and then we get a backstory segment. Play as young Commander Nelson in this cool 50s future world, where we see Red's dad get murdered in front of him. There's a lot of character development here, but I'm not qualified to talk about it without it sounding like a book report, so instead I'll just talk about the boss fight against Lambo.
I still kind of do feel like I don't know how to talk about story good, I guess. Like, it's very hard to balance. But, like, I feel like a lot of my own personality gets shown in this video. Like, how I stick to, yeah, I don't know how the fuck to talk about story in a video game. I'm just a fucking loser that knows how to talk about gameplay. I don't know. A lot of the shit that I'm, like, pointing out is, like, I only care about. Like, I am the only person that cares about it. But, cares about the minutia so much of this fucking YouTube game review. But I don't know, I love it.
Fight starts
It's
off
my
with you having no
baby.
teammates and doing practically no damage, but then you knock a remote out of him and take control of his minions. Then you can draw a spiral to use the drill ability. This is the only time the drill ability is used in the entire game, and while it doesn't have that many uses or attributes, it's still cool to see unique stuff like this get made for such a short section. Red's dad dies a hero, and Blue learns the error of his ways and completes his character arc Yahoo! But after that awesome section, the level just goes back to pissing
Run
itself.
shotgun,
You get
Death
this
Road to
shoot 'em up
Canada.
section, but it's
I am like 90%. Yeah, I know for a fact it's run shotgun, right? Yes, it is. Yeah.
unlike the other types where it's from an overhead perspective and it sucks. The camera is at an isometric angle and it doesn't work with this. I can't see where I'm aiming, there's all these obstacles that block my view, and the wind pushes you around in waiting sections, and the whole thing is an auto-scroller, and there's things that can one-shot you. It just sucks, man. All the other minigames are done in like 5 minutes max. This one goes on for over 10 minutes and just makes me want to get back to regular enemy fighting. It ends with a fight against Vajone and their octopus mech, and is such a letdown after good her first fight was, and she remains dead this time, so she can't even redeem herself again. After the fight, Immorta joins you and has her own unite-
Like, this being in 720p, I've heard of like...
Morph of
I've heard of like, AI upscaling. I don't know if that would work, but I would be interested. Maybe. I don't know if like you have to pay for it. It sounds like some shit you gotta like pay like $200 to use. Piracy.
a crossbow. It's basically just gun, but if you kill an enemy, they fight for you, but even then it only works with small enemies. She's not in every level following this point, but even in the level she is in, I keep forgetting about her. It's just kind of boring.
Yeah, it says, I wait at the summit. Signed Prince Vorkin. It's in Roloian.
That's not what it says, and it isn't in Eurolian. Immorta gives us a...
I love that fucking... you know, they just wrote this in English and we're like, yeah, that works.
It's in Roloian.
That's not what it says, and it...
It's like, I just imagined like these Japanese developers, I wait on top. They were just like, yeah, that's the Japanese will think that's an alien language, and then they just didn't change it.
Isn't in Eurolian. Immorta gives us a plot dump. Vorkin King of Comet Land, Vorkin good, Gefjerk show up, Gefjerk blow up Comet Land, Vorkin bad now. Even the sea boss is lame. Vorkin killed the real boss and now it's just the Vorkin fight with 2 phases, and one is on the Virgin Victory Ha, so there's less room to dodge attacks. There's slight differences with Vorkin's attacks, but it's still basically the exact same thing. Immorta and Vorkin yell at each other. Vorkin gets zapped by the new villain Gimme. Yes, that's his name, Gimme. Vorkin has a nano bioweapon in him that'll kill him really quickly, and then Lucas shows up and says he has a pendant that can deactivate the super reactors. Gimme takes Luca, and don't worry, the fabled later is getting closer by the minute. This level sucks, it's easily the worst world, and Operation 7 isn't that much better. On the way back to Blossom City, the team goes into Vorkin's body to kill the nanobot thing. You only start off...
This is... Skullman? Yes.
10 members, so you gotta use enemy recruits to get more numbers. Of course, this important mission can only be handled by the best of the best, you know, red, blue, green, pink, yellow, white, black, toilet guy, the obvious picks. This is the only level to have 2 parts instead of 3, instead choosing to make B its boss. There isn't anything that's awful, but there isn't anything where I'm like, man, you know what my favorite part of the game was? The Vorkin's body levels, where you fight 3 electric eels in a row. At least this place has a lot of effort put into it. This place looks completely unique compared to anything else in the game. Oh yeah, I got a collectible. Oh shit, collectibles! Yeah, the collectibles kind of suck ass. There's the wonderful files, which are just the descriptions of the wonderful members that are in the gallery page when you first unlock them. You got the Geth Jerk files, which are the same, but they actually have unique descriptions. Wonderful statues that are just the members and the poses that are also in the gallery. Get these from either Wonder Toilets or they're in the weirdest spots, like random windows or circles just randomly put on the map. So you combine these two things and you get a game that I don't want to 100%. Chugi along with all of Vorkin's—
I have never 100% of Wonderful 101. Still haven't. And I don't think there's that many people that have 100% of this game. I'm not one of them. Someone else can fucking archive what happens when you have 100% if there's some bonus shit or whatever.
His teammates show up and help out the main crew, and we get his Unite morph, the Naginata. Chugi explains his past of Vorkin being a real meanie head who conquers planets and kills people. The Naginata is pretty much just used to block bacteria. Using it by itself sucks and has barely any attack range. Using it as a multi-unite is 10 times better, but even then it does like no damage. The boss is okay where you ride on P-Star and have to shoot it in this 3D area, then when it gets weak you get to get up close and beat the crap out of it. After a while though, it just kind of stops fighting back and you pretty much just get to—
I'm 90% sure this was a glitch on my part where it just stopped. It froze.
Spam missiles for free. At least the final section is really cool. You get to switch sizes and it ends with you stomping the fucking shit out of them. An okay boss for an okay area. We get out of Vorkin's body and Blossom City gets nuked because they're trying to find... Men. Yes, we have a problem. What problem? Okay.
I love this scene. These upcoming two scenes. They were an absolute bitch to edit. I think I spent like a day on just this and the platinum montage. I don't know when that is, but I think it's coming soon. But I really like these. I think they really wrap it all together. This little...
Okay, so you know those Nintendo fans? Yeah? You know how they're fucking dumbasses? Oh yeah, absolutely. You know how they think any game that's exclusive to a Nintendo system is made by Nintendo? They don't know Namco makes Smash Brothers. They think Nintendo makes Pokemon. They don't know Intelligent Systems makes Fire Emblem and Monolith Soft makes Xenoblade. They didn't even know Alpha Dream existed until they went bankrupt. To them, it's all just one massive roof of Nintendo. Some of those things haven't happened yet because this conversation is taking place in 2013, but yeah. How do we make sure everyone knows this game is made by Platinum Games and not Nintendo? Well, what if we just put our logo and brand name everywhere in the last quarter of the game?
Platinum, 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 platinum,
Platinum?
platinum, 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 platinum.
It appears they say
that platinum montage, that like, what, 10 seconds? 15 seconds maybe? That took like 4 hours. I spent so much fucking time on that.
Platinum quite a bit. Other Platinum controls important comment, go stop them from destroying it. I really like this area. It's based off the first 2 levels with some areas being taken straight from them, but now all destroyed and filled with anti-gravity. Some areas are sideways and you use white to climb them up, plus with his abstract platforming. It's just a really fun area to be in. Also, I like how the characters' clothes are all teared up because the entire game is taken—
Teared up isn't a word, it's torn up. I'm such an idiot. My friend Audie told me about that, and like the second he fucking did, I was like, why?
Over the course of one day. It's just a nice attention to detail. The background looks super good too, despite barely ever getting a chance to look at it fully. It's a really nice change of pace after going through this for the past 2 areas. There's this 2-screen boss against this N-Van though, and I don't really like this honestly. The N-Van doesn't really attack you. You pretty much just look at the bottom screen to make sure you won't get hit by the missiles that you don't even see the N-Van fire. It's just a fun level before we get to the final boss area. The sea boss is gimme. The first phase is like the Lambo fight of the first level where you pilot a ship and shoot at them. You gotta destroy the engines while dodging enemy fire and debris. The second phase is a standard enemy gauntlet and we get some backstory on Luca.
Payback! That's why. Payback for what happened to my mom! My mom...
Luca, more like
My
bitch.
mom was a scientist with the Sentinels. She spent all her time in some lab making a barrier that was supposed to protect the planet. And then one day there was an accident, and she died. They killed my mom.
Don't worry, we're getting there. I really like this tower phase because after you take each one out, the others' attacks get harder and harder to dodge. Plot happens, we get Platinum Robo. We'll get to the plot soon. What's important is that we get another Punch-Out style boss fight. It's a lot tougher than the first one too, with multiple phases in itself, and as a really big Punch-Out fan, this fight gets a good from me. We get more backstory for Luca.
It's true. Your mother gave up her life to create Margarita. Professor Margarita volunteered to sacrifice herself to become the computer at the heart of Earth's defenses. Mother Platinum. Professor Margarita was an unparalleled genius. No one could match her expertise in the field of Earth defense technology. But the enemy humanity faced was simply too powerful. Even with all her skill, she couldn't devise a system that could withstand an enemy invasion, let alone the neural network that would be necessary to control it. There was only one way. She turned herself into a machine, into the very neural computer humanity needed. The mechanized remnants of your mother sleep deep within Mother Platinum. Professor Margarita turned herself into a machine to save humanity.
Me putting Pickle fucking there. It's in another one of those jokes where I don't think I ever got called out for this. No one ever told me they noticed it, but just Pickle turned herself into a pickle. Funniest shit I've ever seen. I feel bad about that sometimes.
Your mother is alive, Luca.
Actually, no, I don't feel bad for it. I just feel like, damn, this is such a dumb fucking joke.
She's the shield that safeguards humanity's future. Your mother is Margarita.
Let's see how he finishes his character arc. Also, Gimmy's dead. Well, okay, man, okay. You're almost there. You can do this. Don't give up now. One last chapter. Woo! Let's go. The shield gets destroyed, so we run.
Me, doing that side, like, I think that was on my mental state as well. Like, when you're watching this, it's like an hour. It's like, it's not that, but like, when you're like 4 weeks, not like, you're like 4 months into this, just hearing that, like, that little just like size up for yourself, just like getting yourself ready, it helps a lot. Especially when you're lonely.
Ride the robot to get to the comet to blow up the aliens. Nearly all of the A mission is in this on-rail shooter style. One thing that bugs me though is that in all the other shooter sections you can hold down the button to rapid fire, but in this one you're forced to tap the button, which fuck you. Also, fun fact, the game over screen for Platinum Robo is of a crying mother. At this point in the script, my brain is fried and I can't think of a way to transition this, so... Halfway through, it changes to an isometric perspective and...
I just like being honest. Like that's just like such a, like, a little curtain behind the scenes of like, yeah, I'm fucking dead. I don't know.
Still sucks. At least it's better here because of the crosshair, but I still don't like it. You fire the Shirogane Comet and oh man, that's fucking satisfying. You know all those annoying turtles and spike enemies? Yeah, you just destroyed a fucking million of them. The game's not done yet though, because the aliens have a super duper fortress that you need to take down.
This is Gethjerk's ace in the hole.
That was one impressive hole.
Ah, motherfucker. Okay, I guess we can have one sex joke in the video. This leads to more shooting, followed by normal combat, where you get team members by simply knocking down robots. You know, with all these shooting sections, I'm really glad that Platinum Games got to get it all out of their system with Star Fox Zero, which they made 3 years later, and we all know how that turned out. If that's what the Star Fox sections mean, then what do the Punch-Out sections mean? We dodge robots, Chuggy shows up, we dodge some lasers, Vorkin...
If you haven't, figured it out yet, I never shut up about Punch-Out.
shows up and we get Vorkins Unite morph a Boomerang. The Boomerang weapon is super good for this reactor boss fight too, because you can stand in the center and pretty much never get hit by the lasers. It's kind of a shame though that it gets introduced so late because you can't do a lot with it. Final boss time, everyone, let's do this. If you can't tell, I'm fried at this point, so let's just fucking get it over with. Jurginga. He throws a lot of plot at you, but you know what? No, I'm not doing this shit. There's a lot of twists here, some of which are interesting, but I'm not doing it. Let's just talk about the boss fight. First.
If I guess now we should talk about that lore. I believe it is humanity progresses like so much they go to space and then they start colonizing planets and it becomes a kind of mini dictatorship. And then the aliens, Jurginga, they send people to the past so that they can be like, okay, let's just fucking kill humanity before they got so strong. And then they I don't know why they just don't go back to like caveman times, but or why they just don't send more people, but it's like they send them back in time to when humanity wasn't as strong, but then they realize, oh hey, they're still kind of strong. Why they don't go back to like just fucking like the 1800s, just go back a couple extra 100 years? I don't know. I thought we were fighting the Civil War. They could have easily just blown us up. But no. I don't know.
Phase. You gotta destroy each weak spot and switch between which one is able to be damaged while dodging drill attacks. I like the idea of this phase, but on normal at least, the drills just kinda don't attack you most of the time. And even when they do, they kinda just miss entirely. After you knock his health bar down enough, you just gotta reflect his lasers, which looks cool, but isn't that challenging or difficult. Second phase, he puts on a Wonder Mask, and he has a lot of attacks in this phase. All of his attacks are based on morphs you have, and you gotta destroy his weapons to get him stunned. Remember, I used to have trouble on this boss, but now I just use Bomb, and I destroyed him. Look at the health bar go down. Just use Bomb, seriously. I like this one attack he does, though, where he takes away one of your Unite morphs, and you gotta take it back. You try to punch him, but get overpowered, and Luca finds out Wonder Red was his teacher? Don't worry, I'm getting really close to talking about Luca, just be a little more patient. Third phase, dodge missiles and get enough robots to break the barrier. It's not anything particularly special, but the music makes it cool. After you break the barrier, you get to beat the fuck out of him with Max Fist. Fuck yeah. Fourth phase, destroy the weak points in his hands and legs. I don't really like this phase, it never feels like you're getting enough damage in, plus he can only hit the legs of Sword. Wait a minute, they made a game over screen for the tiny team member robots? Now that is some dedication, man. After all of the phases, the game ends with one last climactic finish, with all the characters coming together, topped off with one last mash-off, and that's it. Finally! Well, not yet. We get a final scene of everyone celebrating and being happy and not being dead, and then there's an epilogue that's like the prologue except with Luca instead of Red. And we get Luca's Unite Morph, goggles, you shoot lasers, and it doesn't do that much damage. Luca, you know Hitler killed 6 million people? Well, yeah, Luca probably killed 600 million people. Minimum. Like, you saw what they did to Blossom City, and that was just Blossom City. Imagine what they did to, like, Poland, or Argentina, or New Zealand, or the Republic of the Congo. You knew exactly what you were going to do, and you wanted to do it, and now you want to study real hard. Nah, man, you should be dead for treason. Reddit.
I stand by this. Luca 100% should be fucking tried for war crimes. He might be a child, but you know, he knew what he was doing was wrong. He killed like a lot of people. I don't know. I feel like just building it up and then just like, you know, Hitler killed 6 million people. Luca killed like way more. I don't know. I find that funny.
And wow, that is one crusty.
Crusty JPEG. I don't know if it's really like seeable here, but when you're like actually playing it, like it's like very crusty.
JPEG. There's some other minor stuff like multiplayer missions, which is
this was Logan. He's player 2 right now. That was my buddy Logan, the guy that did the We Fit You joke, or helped with it. That's him.
Just basically a score attack with another player. I try to get my friend to play this, and after 10 minutes he has to play something else. There's some
He did
secret
ask to
characters.
play
You got
someone else.
Vorkin, Immorta, Chugi, Old Wonder Red, which is neat in unlocking these characters in the main game. Then there's the more wanky characters, a legally distinct version of Beautiful Joe, a version of the game's director Hideki Kamiya who dies in one hit, distinct version of Beautiful Joe, a version of the
That like little yeah, that was me adjusting the audio mid-sentence. There's quite a few moments in this video where I think that happens, but that's the one where it's like noticeable, or at least enough that I noticed it.
The game's director Hideki Kamiya who dies in one hit, Wonder Red as a child, Wonder Red's dad, Shirogane, some other characters, and some cool Bayonetta cameos. The way you unlock them though is stupid. You gotta beat the game, okay, get a million O parts, okay, and go to a specific area and enter a button combination 4 times for each of the game's 4 character packs. Why not just have them on the shop menu?
As an update to this, I believe that they updated it so that if you're, I think is like a promotional thing, like if you are playing the remastered version, and I think if you download the demo, you just get Wonder Bayonetta, like instantly. I don't even think you have to beat the game for her. I think you just get her. I think they were just like, we need to sell games, just like, advertise that Bayonetta's in it. And then they were like, okay, yeah. They never fucking advertised that Bayonetta was in the game, like, ever. They could have easily, like, just pushed that as, like, hey, we got Bayonetta. I don't know, something.
There's also some Kickstarter DLC that's not out yet, like Uga's first and second mission.
I don't know if this stuff is actually out yet. I don't remember. I don't think any of this is out actually. Huh. I know it's coming, but I don't know.
And then the soundtrack remix by a special guest. There's the gallery mode, which lets you look at all the wonderful members, and they made special logos for each one, and you get to read their backstory. Ran out of current gen titles, huh? That's because the only next gen system out at the time was the Wii U. Wait, what the fuck? The Xbox One released 6 days early in Japan? The Xbox doesn't sell for shit in Japan. Why? Some super abilities and game achievements, and that's it. That was the wonderful 101. Oh man, if I had to choose one word to describe this game, it would be experimental. Every step of the way, this game throws something at you you've never seen before. The main gameplay is a cross between Pikmin, Okami, and a beat-em-up. The script is filled with jokes you'd find in kids' movies, and the story at times is the most predictable stuff from kids' movies, even though it's rated teen. The game uses 2 screens in a way that almost works sometimes. Every step of the way, they throw new gameplay styles at you, even if they don't always work. Yet through all of that, you can see that they really cared a lot about this game. The crazy over-the-top action, the constant amount of gameplay styles, the things that were made for one section and then barely get used again. The 127 songs, the game over screens for every character, which they really didn't have to do. No one would have batted an eye if it was only red. There's so much love packed into this game. The combat is fantastic once you get stuff like multi-unites and all the other abilities. The drawing I see being talked about a lot. Some say the drawing doesn't work, some say they've never had a problem with it. For me, while the drawings work, I don't think it's as good as it could be. Like here I drew Claw and somehow got Bomb, literally how. I do feel like it compensates for this though by slowing down time. The soundtrack is absolutely incredible. Just off the top of my head, Gagujin's Revenge, both of the Vorkin themes, Wonder Black's theme, the shop theme, the Punch-Out boss theme. There's so many good ones. I can't wait for that remix soundtrack. People say they want a sequel, and I do too. I would love if they fixed stuff like the collectibles, touched up the shape detector, make the secret characters not require a button combination, and among other things, but I think we all know that isn't happening. The universe really didn't want this game to succeed, huh? I feel like a sequel would also be more trouble than it's worth, especially considering they probably have to redesign or make new wonderful ones, so yeah, never gonna happen. I can 100% see why someone wouldn't enjoy this game. There's so many things that could put someone off. off. But, you know, sometimes when I'm looking to play a game, I'm not looking for the most polished experience. Sometimes I want something that's just unique. And you know, that's what The Wonderful 101 is. It's such a unique game that there's nothing like it, and there will be nothing like it for a very long time to come, which is something that a lot of games can't say about themselves. There's some fun to be had in the games that tried something new, even if they didn't get it all 100% down. It's not a perfect game, but man, is it something that I will not forget. Mostly because of the torment of making this 1-hour video on it, but also because the game is pretty neat. And with that being said, I'm out of things to say. I'm super fucking tired. Have a good day. Join me next time when I talk about some other dumbass shit no one cares about.
There's some stuff here, but I get emotional whenever I watch the end of that. Like, it's, I don't know, the music. It's just the music carrying it, I swear. The credits theme for Wonderful 101, but I just get really emotional because all the memories are coming back. Oh.
Hey, remember when I said this is gonna take a month? Yeah, that guy was a fucking dumbass, wasn't he? I started scripting this on July 15th. Now it's November. Oh my, I've never made a video like this before, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Please, I really hope you. I have a few things I want to say. I would like to thank my friend Logan, because he is pretty much the reason this video exists at all. He pretty much saved my computer after it was like fucking dying. Not even sure my computer would be able to render it if he hadn't fucking fixed it. He also helped out a very small bit with the editing, and he let me get the footage of the multiplayer. Who knew after all that I'd take the crown of talking about The Wonderful 101 for the second longest amount of time in a single video. The record still stands with Matthew Matosis, which he can.
Yeah, Matthew Matosis.
He's beating me by about 5-10-ish minutes, a little under 10. He can keep that. He deserves it. It would be a dishonor if I took that away from him. I'm not gonna be doing another hour-long super analytical take on another video game for a very long time. I'm just gonna go back to doing whatever the fuck I did before this. But you know, with obviously quality improvements and stuff, like I've tried really hard to work on like my audio, you know, like my editing and stuff like that. I hope it worked out. I hope it panned out well. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for staying to the fucking end of this video. Like, holy shit. It really means a lot. Oh my god, it's finally over. Holy shit. Tomorrow to celebrate, I'm gonna go beat up some children with rakes.
That's the final joke of the video, and I love it so much.
Tomorrow to celebrate, I'm gonna go.
And it is very interesting watching all this again. Oh. Man, I just want to say something, but when you make something and like you get to say that it's yours, like you put your heart and your soul into it, and you just getting to experience it, like it's something that you can't like get to. It's just like something that stays with you, because this thing exists. This thing exists whether it's just its own entity now that you made. It is your baby. People are gonna watch this. People are gonna play it. People are gonna read it. People are gonna do anything. Whatever you do with your form of medium, it is incredible to just be able to have something just have it and say, I made this, me. It's just, and then you get moments like these where you come back to it and you're like, oh, I love it so much, and you get a little happy. Just, you get all the little stories about it, and oh, it's just something about it that's just the joy of creation. Anyone that tells you you can't do it, you can't make something, don't listen to them. You can. You can. And when you do, it will be just it's phenomenal. Whatever you make it'll be phenomenal. Even if it sucks, you get to own it. You get to say, I did this. I made it. And then you can just go, you can make more. And even if those suck, it's just like you get your process of how things went along. You get to just have something. You get to have it. Like no one can take this away from you. And like, it's beautiful. Whatever projects you have, I want you to complete them, and I cannot wait to see when they are done. I cannot wait to see it, because I know you have potential. Thank you for watching this little director's commentary, and hope to see you again, because you are fucking incredible, and do not let anyone tell you otherwise. Goodbye.